So there's been an update with everything that's been happening with the whole, Beckham family, the PR stunt that was done by On the Beach, and the sort of team behind it that made it happen. So, in the previous video, I mentioned the sort of mixed reactions to what has been going on. Some people are saying that it's bang out of order. Some people are saying that it's amazing reactive PR. And I wanted to get your thoughts as well, but I have additional sort of information that I wanted to share with you guys from the people themselves who actually developed the campaign as well. So let me share my screen and let's have a quick read. So this is from Alex Duckett, who's the owner and director at Wentworth PR. So he says, I wasn't going to post this, but after seeing comments describing our idea as crass, bad taste, and even scummy, I changed my mind. On Monday evening, Brooklyn Beckham publicly posted details of his family feud on Instagram. About an hour later, I was chatting with Rob Brooks about whether and how On the Beach could react. That night, we landed on a new perk, the family fallout refund, aka the Beckham clause. That allows family bookings to get their money back if one member drops out due to a feud. It might sound tongue-in-cheek, but this is a solution to a very real problem because we see family fallouts affecting bookings every year. Perks that benefit customers and fast. Reactive PR is part of On the Beach's DNA, so the idea ticked a lot of boxes. By the next morning, thanks to brilliant legal, booking, social, and marketing teams, we had launched a new perk, created a fresh reason for families to book with On the Beach, and tapped into the biggest news story of the day. I welcome those who thought it was crass or in bad taste. Why? Because you're all thinking about it, and sometimes that's the dream scenario in PR. To cut through national media and broadcast, ideas often have to be brave, reactive, and yes, occasionally divisive. Talkability matters. Lorraine, Mail Online, The Mirror, and plenty of others seem to agree. Consumers seem to like it too. Family holiday bookings are up. And if we have a look at some of the images here, you can see they got a bit of nice coverage from that as well. They got a bit of pretty piece of coverage, I can't lie. So ultimately, with that, because at the end of the day, if I put on my PR hat, you have to give a round of applause for the reactive PR. It was quick, it was timely, it was topical, and it was fast. It's the way that you really want a reactive PR campaign to be. And if it was a day later, then it may have not had the same amount of impact that it did, right? So that's the reason why it's a fantastic campaign. But then I suppose the reason still kind of is out there, whether it was actually a good use of using this story, or was it sort of abusing the actual element of this story being publicly sort of scrutinized, if you put it that way. So let me just share a couple of comments that was here as well. I'll just have a read through. We used to have a saying when I was in campaigns for the public sector, broadcast now and ask for forgiveness later. We did get into a bit of hot water as a result, but we hit our targets as a result. But then at what cost? Obviously, yes, when you're on a retainer and you're working with major big clients, you need to ensure that you hit your KPIs and your targets. But I suppose that's the game of PR, to be fair. You need to take that risk and you need to be timely with what story you're actually putting out there to ensure that it's actually something that the public actually want to know about or they want to be immersed in. You know what I mean? Let's see what else is there. Solving real life problems regardless what story it's off the back of. It's brilliantly reactive. I just don't buy the solving a real issue bit, nor do I necessarily think you have to over egg that. Okay, I thought this absolutely nailed it, quick and totally relevant. Reactive gold, and as you say, plays into the wider brand strategy and product offering, not just jumping on the trend for the sake of it. Also, kudos on the speed your team just turned that around. It's a great PR idea, well executed, but ultimately there are real people at the center of this story. And I think sometimes that gets lost in the reveling at bagging a bit of news coverage. I guess it's a case of whether this is a genuine perk for customers or a perk created to fit a PR angle. That's interesting. Because if they were really focused on the customer and knew that this issue existed, then the clause would have existed before now, rather than a PR story leading you to a customer benefit. That is pretty interesting. But what I will say, based on my personal opinion and my thoughts on this, I thought it was a well-executed campaign. With the Beckhams going through this, they're not sort of a family who hasn't been on these sort of papers for all various different types of scandals, right? I don't believe, as I said in my previous video, that we should be using sort of family issues and family drama to capitalize on particular issues for the benefit of an organization or a company. But I cannot knock it that they were able to turn this around that quick. Remember in my previous video, I thought it was AI. So the fact that they actually done it, and even better, the person in question, what's his name again? Alex, the person in question, Alex, he actually done it incredibly well. He spoke to the people in charge. He aligned it with what needs to be done in order to get this over the line. And he connected with all various different parts of the team to make sure that it can be done in a way that makes sense and it actually aligns. And sometimes when it comes down to PR, when it comes down to doing campaigns, even for yourself, you have to understand that, yes, although things may not necessarily align because of the fact that it may not seem like the right thing to say or do at the time, you have to kind of think of it from a PR lens, and you have to think, based on you sort of aligning yourself with this story, what are the repercussions of that particular thing? What is the chances of me being scrutinized or attacked for this? Because ultimately, Alex has been attacked by the public based on his quick thinking, him and his team. But at the same time, you would then see that there's a correlation between those who work in the industry that are commending it, like me, and those who don't necessarily know the process of what it means to get a reactive PR piece like this over the line. And then the first initial, I suppose, instance is to come with it from an emotional standpoint, which I completely get. I completely agree with that as well. But ultimately, it's just a lesson learned that even with me covering this story, right, this is a news topic that everyone is jumping on or using it as an opportunity to speak, whether it comes down to doing it as a campaign or to speak my mind like myself or to do it in content or for podcasts or whatever. I'm sure there's podcasts that's talking about this right now. Or even worse, there's podcasts that probably do one podcast a week and they're going to be talking about it on Friday. And by then, that's old news. We've moved on. And that's the whole point of the daily uploads with the content that I'm doing, because I can just do it. I just press record. I share my thoughts and my opinions. I do a bit of editing, I tweak it, and I send it out. And that's it. And then we move on and we get on with other bits of content that needs to be recorded and put out. You know what I mean? So with that, ultimately, it ends with the fact that success loves speed. No matter what realm we're talking about right now, but success loves speed. And as far as reactive PR is concerned, you need to be quick and you need to make sure that it's timely and it aligns. And that aligned so perfectly. I cannot fault it. I cannot fault it one bit. I thought it was a well-aligned piece of PR. And yeah, I gave them a round of applause before, but they deserve another one. They deserve another one because they really done it in a way that makes sense. And matter of fact, they didn't have to be doing all the additional AI stuff to make it seem like they're doing it, because they've done it. And I suppose a lot of other agencies that are kind of not necessarily thinking reactively, they would have just probably looked to just do something AI based, and then even that would have been a sort of disaster. You know what I mean? Because in the elements of trust and doing stuff for the actual target audience, you want to make sure that it's authentic in the process as well. And I suppose with that initial reason as to why they introduced the clause, because they had some issues with those particular things anyway, in terms of a family dropping out of a holiday and all of a sudden the holiday just doesn't happen. So like I said before, it's relevant, it resonates with all of us. And from a PR standpoint, I can't knock it. from a human standpoint. But it's like I'm splitting it between people in PR and then just humans as well. So it's crazy. But I would say, you know what? It's just the way of the world, really. We always react to any sort of news that pops up. Doesn't matter what it is. We're always going to have an opinion as humans, and we're always going to either agree with something or disagree or remain impartial. One of the three. But all in all, I don't have any issues with it. I thought it was quite cool. I connected with Alex as well, so hopefully he has a check of this video. And yeah, if you are interested in me speaking with him directly and getting much more sort of insights into the sort of quick turnaround of how this PR sort of reactive campaign came about, let me know. I'll do my best to reach out to see if he's open to having a quick chat. And then, yeah, just kind of spreading some awareness and gems just to kind of give you guys insight on how this whole crazy world of PR works, man. But it's crazy stuff, but I love it, man. It's so random. It's so random sometimes, of just things that just pop up. And then as I saw this, that was the first thing in my head. I'm thinking, who is going to spin this into a sort of PR reactive campaign? And then On the Beach done it. So I can't knock it once again. But anyway, this is part 2 of the video. If I ever do a part 3, it's because I got in touch with Alex directly or the team at On the Beach. But if not, we move on, man. We're moving with the times. And if you like this video, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, then just let me know and I'll be happy to provide. But enough love, big up yourself, blessings each and every time, and I'll catch you next week. Next week, I'll catch you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Peace out.